Thanks, Kathy, and welcome all to the Washington Post. I'm Dave Beard, and I want to say that book, 21 Lives, has a really wonderful introduction by Marilyn Johnson, who wrote a great book, I'd say one of the definitive books on obituaries, called The Dead Beat, Dead Space Beat. So, and is also fond of, I'd say, at least two of our three speakers, because I don't know Larry that well, but I know that Marilyn knows the atoms pretty well. So is a lovely writer. And I'll say in a few weeks too, there's a tendency in Hollywood to do like a sequel, All the Dumb and Dumber 2 or something like that. Always to do something. So this year we have, instead of 21 lives, we'll have 22 lives, and it'll be out in a few weeks too, an ebook that I think is important for a lot of reasons. It takes some of the more than 300 to 400 original obits. The writers boil it down to about 40, 45, and we kind of boil it down further to, in this case, 11 women and 11 men who have changed the way that we sort of think about our world with the ways that they've lived. And so that'll be coming out. That's the only commercial interruption for the evening. About obituaries, I find them uplifting, foible finding, utterly surprising, nuanced examinations of the human soul and or of its spirit. These are the reasons that I love great obituaries. I'm telling you, but let me show you what I'm talking about. Where else do we get this one sentence summation by the Latin American novelist Gabriel Garcia Marquez of his work? All you need to know, he says, about my work is this one thing. The appetite for power is the result of an incapacity for love. Wow. You know, or this from Dutch Van Kirk, the navigator aboard the Enola Gay at the dawn of the nuclear age. We turned to where we could look out and see the cloud where the city of Hiroshima had been. Or this from Alice Hurst Summer, pianist and Holocaust survivor. I'm Jewish, with Beethoven as religion. He gives me the faith to live and say to me, life is wonderful and worthwhile, even when it is difficult. This is not exactly cop shop copy, as we might say upstairs. So with us tonight, we've got three superb practitioners of this craft. To my immediate left, Adam Clymer, who I had known first as the biographer of a great Ted Kennedy biography that has been sort of off-cited by anybody else who does anything by Ted Kennedy, and a long-time Baltimore Sun and New York Times reporter. One of his leads was, indeed, I Am Not a Crook, made at Disney World, which is what Adam put in the byline. The trouble with editors sometimes is they're literal. So they found the municipality may have been actually Kissimmee, Florida.
No, that was the Times that made it Kissimmee.
Yeah, the Times made it Kissimmee.
The Sun left it at Disney World.
That's great. But he also, he covered, he's also written about the Panama Canal Treaty, swing voter in American politics, Reagan, the man, the president, and these days writes when he wants to on maybe op-ed articles, obituaries, and an outdoor column on fly fishing. One of the obituaries, of which Adam is the most proudest, and this is a subset of obituaries, which would be the accidental observer, the common man or woman who is present at history and does something remarkable. Last year it might have been, for example, a person who at 15 years old testified at the trial of Emmett Till truthfully and had to live the rest of his life in Chicago under an assumed name. But anyway, the person who Adam Clymer profiled was Frank Wills, security guard, Watergate. Like, looks something's wrong with the door, opens it, it's a break-in. He reports the break-in. But by the time that Adam did his research in the later years, Frank Wills had fallen on hard times. This person whose attention to work was the first step in a series of events that caused a president, the first ever only, to resign from office, had a humble end. And so that's Adam. There's another Adam to my right here, Adam Bernstein, who's the obituaries editor of the Washington Post, and has been writing obits since 1999 with Matt Schudel, with Emily Langer, and others. And you guys, it's a great team you guys have. He's been recognized. Yes.
And Megan.
Megan as well. Megan is, and so I'm just happy to be at a place that cares so much about such quality writing, and it's the ultimate dignity to honor a person and their summation of their life, and the ultimate responsibility to get it right when there's no time, there's no other place, opportunity for rebuttal. So anyway, Adam's favorite obits, I mean, he's been honored by ASNI, the American Society of Newspaper Editors, for his complex yet stylish prose, which it is. I noticed his encyclopedic history of Hollywood and of literary figures. And one of those is one of my favorites, the German screenwriter and film director Billy Wilder, who wooed his future wife with the line, "I'd worship the ground you walked on if only you lived in a better neighborhood." So what you learn from that is it doesn't have to be somber. It can be a celebration of joy. It could be like Joan Rivers this year, who said, when I said, "Can we talk?" it really meant, "Can we tell the truth?" Can we tell the truth is what, in 1967, 1968 on television, she was telling essentially jokes about abortion or the really raw social stuff that she was telling the truth in an age when the truth was sort of glided over. Anyway, our last panelist is Larry Arnold, who also had worked for AP, now had worked in Bloomberg's Washington Bureau, covered the Justice Department, the SEC, before taking over obituaries with a massive team. And a 5-person, is that right?
5 now, spread out across the world.
Yeah, including Frankfurt, Germany, because, Bloomberg never sleeps. So his studies of history at Cornell and being editor at the Daily Sun there prepared him. I know you guys are probably thinking of Kurt Vonnegut or of other sort of novelists who, from there, prepared him actually to be part of the obituary of Michael Jackson, which maybe we might be able to hear a little bit tonight. But anyway, enough about me, enough about them per se. It's their show, and we'll hear a few tales, and maybe you can tell some tales yourself about the art of obituary writing and your favorites.